So if you clicked on this video, you're familiar with the convenience of slicing your part in Bamboo Slicer, hitting print and sending it off to the printer. And I have to admit, that's quite handy. I'm often finishing work at home and sending it off to the printer for printing overnight. But as I'm sure you're aware, if you're sending print jobs remotely, they go through Bamboo Cloud. And that might not be something you're comfortable with, especially after Bamboo's recent behavior towards the 3D printing and open source community. But now you can run your own print cloud with Bambuddy. That is, if you're already running your own home server or are comfortable with setting one up with an old PC or Raspberry Pi, for example. I will show you how to set up Bambuddy on a TrueNAS with Tailscale for remote access. I won't go into any detail on those two, but I will link some videos below that help me set this up. It's pretty straightforward. On the Bambuddy website, you can also find a very detailed video on how to set this up on a Raspberry Pi. It's in Italian, but has an English auto translation that is good enough to follow along. Before we set this up, let me show you how Bambuddy works first. You connect to it in your browser, and here you can see my printer. This can be just as smooth as the original Bamboo experience, but I have not managed to set up so-called virtual printers yet, which is necessary for that. I have to export and upload my sliced file in this setup for remote printing, but I consider this a minor inconvenience if it means I can print remotely without Bamboo's cloud service. Once you drop the file in here, you can check all the settings, print ASAP, or put it into a queue or schedule when to print. It will take a minute for the print to start. You'll see a pop-up in the lower right corner here, which tells you that the file is being processed first, and then your print will start. Also, this works great for monitoring your printer from your computer via the built-in camera. And you can even zoom in on this one. And if you then discover that the resolution isn't good enough, it even has options to connect other cameras. And all this also works from your phone, of course. It's a web app that you can just add to your home screen. So let's get going. We need to start at the printer. You need to do two things here. Set the machine to LAN only mode and then into developer mode. That option only appears once you are in LAN only mode. They're trying to scare you off with a lot of text here, but just scroll all the way down and enable. Note your printer's IP and access code and your serial number. We will need that later. And of course it needs to be connected to the same network as your TrueNAS. Then on your TrueNAS, we just go to the apps and search for Bambuddy and install it. You can also use Docker for installation if you prefer that, but I do prefer a more user-friendly graphical user interface. Once installed, you don't really need to adjust any settings for now, other than file locations if you have your own system for that. And boom, you now have Bambuddy installed on your server. Congratulations. Now you just click on Web UI and set up a username and password if you like, or just skip that and log in without. Now we need to set up a printer, of course. You just click on the Add Printer button on top here, and for me I had to enter my IP here and Bambuddy found it. But I got a bit confused. Every time I clicked on the printer it disappeared again. But you're not supposed to click on it, even though the arrow in the end makes it look like it. You just enter all the credentials below and pick a name and location and add the printer. To print remotely, that's already it. Now you can drag and drop your files into your browser. Wait a hot minute, and the printer will start printing, as you've seen before. If you want to keep using Bamboo Slicer, you're already done. When you're in your local network, you can just print as you used to. Remotely, you will need to export your file. If you want to use Orca Slicer, which I'm testing right now, you need to change the slicer settings in Bambuddy under Workflow. There's a slicer dropdown where you can pick Orca Slicer, and you're done. Check if you're not affected by any of those issues mentioned here. Bambuddy also has tons of other features. It's really powerful and can help you run an entire print farm. I'm just going to skim over the features quickly and maybe make some videos about them in the future as I gain more experience with the tool. So the newest top feature here is integrated slicing, where you can reslice on the server. I can see that being kind of handy. There's print management, of course, with auto archiving, duplicate detection, photo attachments, and you can even attach native Fusion 360 files and so much more. You can even sync with Bamboo Cloud, so it's not totally anti-Bamboo. Real-time monitoring, automation and scheduling notifications via different platforms. You can group prints into projects to keep track of everything. It has a dashboard with analysis data that you can even export. Has APIs and webhooks for external integrations and automation tools. filament profiles, maintenance tracking, camera streaming, AMS and humidity monitoring. How am I still not done here? I'm even skipping some sections. Energy tracking, smart block control, backup and restore functionality, and optional authentication if you have several users in a print farm or a school maybe. And there's also a sister project called Bambuddy that can track your filament inventory with RFID and an integrated scale, and of course they seamlessly work together. I'm truly amazed. It's open source of course, and the man behind it is called Martin. If you want to value his work, buy him a coffee on Ko-fi and spread the word about this. I'm almost baffled by the fact that there's only a few videos on YouTube about Bambuddy so far. This looks to me like a great tool, not only to replace Bambu's cloud service, but a great tool in general. So like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And comment down below if you already have any experience with Bambuddy. And as always, thanks for watching.